man.
I've been focused.
Mm-hmm.
Work has been taking over most of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get past work now and get back into the music as far as production. DJing is my life. It's always been my life.
Right.
I'm gonna always DJ. I love making people feel good.
You do it so easy.
And that's a beautiful feeling.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a hard thing because you have to get to know the music. It's always evolving. It's always something new.
Right.
It's always changing. So, it's up to the DJ, the individual,
Mm-hmm.
to do his homework at all times.
Yep. Well, you definitely. I'm gonna tell you, man. Well, let's start from the beginning because for the people that listen and watch and hear your music on TheRunner.com, a lot of folks don't know you and I basically grew up together.
Yes.
And I mean, we hung out. We weren't the ones that had all the material items like everybody else did. So all we had was each other, and
Right.
y'all used to have parties at your house.
Man.
And I mean, I learned how to eat down there. Not that my family didn't feed me, but y'all always had something going on.
Right.
And it was like I lived there practically.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really, for the people that are watching, me and Nate grew up. I mean, it's like, what was it, like elementary school, Hickory Elementary School. Used to make me like eggs and syrup or something, man. We used to eat that and then walk to school. But I used to come down to your house after I had breakfast at my house. I go to your house. But anyway, no, it's because I think when we were growing up, it's kind of great to me how you got in the house. I just remember your family had all of like my house listened to Motown. I'm not going to say I don't care for Motown, but I don't care for Motown because my mother kind of burnt me out on Smokey Robinson, okay?
Yeah.
And I just got tired of it.
My mother loves Smokey Robinson.
I don't know any female of that era that don't like him, okay? But I just got burnt out on Smokey and Motown because that's all I used to hear in my house. But when I came to your house, I used to hear more of the different soulful artists of that time. And I remember vaguely sitting in your living room because y'all had like this really awesome stereo. And you would play stuff and we would eat and your family would be there and everybody would be talking. You and I'd be in the basement chilling and I would hear the music. And then I just looked up one day and you had 2 Technic turntables and you started getting into it and then you would throw all the parties, because I think you DJ'd at the barn, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you DJ'd at the,
You know what? That used to be one of my dreams back in the day, to DJ at the Regal Farm.
Man,
that
was
the world, but in University Park,
that was it.
At the time, that was the bomb.
Yes, man, that was
the DJ there was an honor.
Mm-hmm. No, but a lot of what I want the audience to know is that some people can DJ and some people can't. And some things come easy for other people and other people try and they'll never be as good as the person that just gets it. And for some reason, and I'm not gonna say for some reason, you just know what records to play and what melodies to play and how to mash all that up. And one thing I want to tell the people, the audience, is that your stuff is organic. You use vinyl. And then I know you got into the hardware later. But for the most part, it's kind of like, before you used a computer, you wrote by hand, and you know what I'm saying. And it's like that's where you came from, and it got progressively easier for you because you knew what to do. And I think you took some classes or something. So tell me about how you made that transition when you went from the vinyl to just really expanding your knowledge with technology, the IT piece and the hardware. Because I remember going in your basement, because I know I relocated down to Atlanta. I come back and man, you had racks of equipment in the basement, and it just looked foreign to me. So talk about that piece and how you went to that, and then you moved on to the software, and then the MacBook Pro and all that stuff.
Well, interjecting whatever you can.
Okay.
But I remember it started before just vinyl. There was a time when you were coming over. Right, as a matter of fact, there was a time period after, like right around. Do you recall Ronald? Mm-hmm. Ronald Morris and Clinton Wilson and all that.
Can't never forget Clinton.
Exactly. The trip. Ronald was the guy who said he was affiliated with Folly back then. Did you recall him saying
yes.
He always said he was affiliated with Folly, but for some reason he wasn't. He always had pictures and everything, posters, whatever. But I've been trying to find out how were these DJs on the radio. Now, back then, before I got started, I listened to WBMX.
BMX, oh yeah.
WBMX.
Chicago.
Exactly. And that came from Ronald. That's why I brought up Ronald's name. Ronald introduced me to WBMX.
Wow.
And he gave me the names of all the people. Ralphie, Raz Rosario.
What?
And Keith.
I didn't know that.
Steve Curley, yeah. Steve Curley and Ralphie the Raz Rosario. Mickey Missing Oliver. You know, he gave me the names of all these people. And he had posters.
Yeah.
Where he got his stuff from, I don't know. But Ronald gave me information on how they were actually blending this music together. When I found out, when I actually listened to this WBMX on Saturday nights, I was stuck. I was stuck to the radio at all times. The whole 5 hours I was stuck to the radio. I needed to know how were these DJs blending this music. Where did they come up with this music? Where did this music come from? Somehow, some way, Ronald knew. How, I don't know to this day. Ronald knew, and Ronald gave me information slowly but surely. Over the years, I kept asking him, and I kept asking other people, and I found out how they were doing this music.
That's and to Ronald's point, and to our friendship and just that history, that legacy relationship that we all had. Brother, Ronald was a strange cat, dude. I mean, Ronald was so strange. But he was cool as hell, though. Ronald was cool as hell. But you're right. He used to come out of left field with stuff, you know? But you just validated Ronald for me, because I used to question Ronald, you know? But he was a weird cat, man.
Oh, Ronald is still questionable to this day.
But you capitalized on some information that he gave you.
Yeah. Yes.
So
over the years.
Just
a little bit of information. That's where the weirdness came from. It's a little bit every 6 months, every 8 months, a year. He used to feel like a little something, then he changed the subject. And you know how you get that little creepy smile. And that's what I had to deal with for years until I found out how did they deal with this? How did they blend this music back in the day? So I capitalized off of it. It took a long time, but I capitalized off of that.
Well, for the listeners, I'm playing. You sent me a MP3 November 2015. It's called Nate Williams Long. You didn't really give it a name, and I was gonna get back to you because I want to upload this. This right here. Can you hear that?
I can't hear.
All right, hold on. Let me crank it.
Yes.
This is one of the tightest, dude. This is one of the tightest tracks you have given me.
Really?
So I'm gonna let that play in the background, and when I edit the video, I'll adjust the volume, because what I like to do is when I'm interviewing, I like to play the artist's music in the background. Oh, sorry about that.
That was one of my beautiful, soulful moments I was in.
Well, you could definitely tell. You can definitely tell. So tell me, okay, so you got the info from Ron, you capitalized on it, you started mixing, and I'm sure, like all artists,
before vinyl, I was saying, maybe I was long-winded, but before vinyl, Ron gave me this information, and I found out. Basically, pause mixing was the first thing I've learned when it came to mixing. Pause mixing. Pause mixing, I'm sure people, all DJs out here understand, all the older DJs, they understand, is when you took a record and you recorded it on a tape, a cassette tape that had a pause button.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I even messed around with that.
Exactly, yeah. That was a beautiful feeling to be able to make something go over and over and over again.
Right.
Looping is what we call it these days.
Exactly. You're right.
We had to loop manually back in the day. You played a song, you recorded it, you found a breakdown of a part that you liked, and you paused it on beat, and you took the needle and brought it back and found that part again, and you let the pause off, at the loop, at the beginning of the loop, and put the pause back on at the end of the loop. And you looped the track over and over again as many times as you wanted to. Pause mixing is where I started. Then it came from a tape deck to a turntable. After Ronald told me they use this thing called a mixer.
Ronald again.
Ronald. Now, this happened about a year later. Now, I paused mixing for a year.
Yeah.
About a year later, Ronald, they use this thing called a mixer. And somehow, some way, later on down the line, Ronald named somebody else's name who was giving him this information. It was a dude named Keith Hutton. Remember him? And Otis Gross. Otis Gross was one of his older brothers' friends. So they were older than us. Keith was about a year under Ronald's older brother. And then here we come, like 3 years later. So Ronald actually talked to, Ronald mentioned Otis Gross' name, and he mentioned Keith Hutton's name. I got to with Keith Hutton and all of the music, everything spilled out. Keith just came and told me everything. From that point on, it was like a rocket ship out in space. I was on 10 from that point on.
Wow.
Ronald was the type of person, as you say, he was weird. He held people back.
Yeah.
He was kind of different. But once I found out how to actually go about the music, I shot off.
Wow. Well, you could tell. Like I said, you can tell a good artist, and you can tell an artist that has evolved through education and hands-on. I mean, those people that are listening, your music is it's like a pathway, a journey, man. I mean, I put your music on, and I remember it just takes me back, man. It takes me back to them times when we were hanging and you were doing this. And I just see it, man, and it really grounds me, it centers me, and it's good music, and it's not like this quick stuff that is being put out today by a lot of these other DJs that don't really understand what Chicago house is, because, man, I comb the internet for artists and house, and you'd be surprised at what people call house music. Now, the guy that I interviewed last week from Amsterdam, who is Jody, he's progressive electronic, and his stuff is good, okay? Yeah. I mean, he's not calling his stuff original Chicago house. I think Amsterdam was the epicenter for electronic dance music. I mean, they own that piece, and they smash it. There's a lot of good DJs that come out of there, but and I think he even said they were influenced by Chicago house. So you went from the pause to the mixing, and then you went to the hardware.
this is a big jump from mixing to the hardware, like from pause mixing. From Reynolds said mixer was involved. So I did the one tape deck that I used to pause mix, and then I did the turntable. It wasn't a 1200. It was a regular home turntable. It didn't have a pitch control on it until we ended up getting an upgrade. The upgrade had like a little pitch control that you roll back and forth.
Right.
You know, just like a little roller on it, back and forth. And I used to practice on via Keith. Keith said, you need to put this tape deck on point with this turntable. Play your music on the tape deck, put on the song on the turntable. You need to put it on beat and try to keep it on beat as much as possible using this roller right here.
What?
And that's how I learned.
Wait, back up, Nate. Back up. Go through that again. What?
Yeah.
What? So you manually controlled the tempo?
Exactly.
From the tape and the turntable?
And the turntable. And I did that over and over and over again from plenty of hours. Every other night until I got that shit perfect. Excuse my language, until I got it perfect.
So,
but I didn't know about the second turntable because I wasn't ready for it. I didn't have the money for it. I didn't know nothing about it.
Right. So,
but I knew I had that tape deck and that turntable on point.
And that's insane. So that goes to what I was going to talk about later. You develop an ear for particular tempo sound, and you can literally, I mean, I know you have crates of vinyl, but you can, you know, I know when I make music, I can hear music that I haven't added yet, you know, because you have it in your brain, you've got all these songs and sounds and things from your sound library, and you start to hear what fits in your mind before you even pull it down. So I know most DJs, some of them plan, but I notice about you get into it and you just pulling something because you know it fits. You don't have a set agenda is what I'm saying. You are just like, it's organic, and that's what makes a good DJ. You know what I'm saying? You don't have it all, because like some of these electronic DJs, they have everything. I want to say they have before the digital, they put it all on CD and they just put a CD in. You know what I'm saying? And then they put the next one in, they cue it up. But that's not DJing. Right. That's DJing is having your vinyl and your songs, even if you have a list of MP3s, and just popping and plugging because of the mood, the emotion, and how you feel that night. And I mean, I've always seen that in you. So talk about that aspect of it, where, you know, when you're making music, like this particular track here, I think it was actually 31 minutes long. When you're making these, you kind of get into the groove. And if I'm off, if I am not on track, tell me, because I mean we grew up together, but I hadn't seen you in quite some time. But I hear it in your music.
Of course, I'm hired for my style,
right?
But at the same time, I still play on the wing. I want to see. I'll play something way left field to see how the crowd reacts, and I play something way right field to see how the crowd reacts. And for somehow, some way, I find myself in the middle of the median. Once I find out exactly, you know, what the crowd is looking for and what mood that they're in right now, I roll off of that.
Yep.
So I'll bang their mood first, and if I want to change it, I'll change it to where I want them to go. So I'm always telling the story, you know, but I have to find out where I'm going to start the story first.
Right.
You know, they may not be in the mood for this type of story here. They may not be in the mood for this type of story. So, you know, so I'm trying to find out where they're at and give them what they want. After they get what they want, then I fulfill them with what I feel like they should have. You know, like I put my own feeling into it and bring them out.
Well, again, even I've listened to Farley and Frankie. I play a lot of their music, okay, with yours, and they both had their separate styles. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the truth be told, man, I like your stuff better.
Thank you.
And the reason being is because I grew up listening to your style.
Right.
And I think now, Farley, he has some soulful stuff, but he has his own style. I ain't gonna knock Farley. I mean, he's badass. You know, Carl Cox. Carl Cox is pretty good. But you just seem to delineate your style from all the rest of them with your soulful selections and your female vocals, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's always been that way.
Yeah, somebody said that to me.
Yes.
They said, for some reason, I can tell when you're on. I can tell when because it's always female after female after female. You might throw a male here and there.
Yeah.
But you love that female soulful vocals.
Yes.
And I tend to gravitate to that.
Yeah.
When I'm selecting my music, as far as purchasing my music, I love to hear soulful music, one, but if I hear a soulful voice behind it,
yes,
most of the time it's females feeling that music. They're really putting their all into it, and somehow, some way, soulful female vocals. And people don't understand this, but I love horns also.
Yeah.
If there's horns in there, trombones, trumpets, it doesn't matter. If there's horns in there, if I can find a cut with horns and female vocals, that's a win-win for me right there. I'm in heaven.
Yeah, I mean your soulful vocals, they're mesmerizing, man. I like a good church. I'm talking about a legacy church-going vocal. Not some newbie that's 16 years old singing in the church. Okay? I'm talking about someone that's like 40, 50 years old that has been going to church for 30 years and is in the choir. And then they tend, they step out, deviate, and put down a house track real quick. Yeah. That is deep house. That is Chicago house.
That's exactly what I was searching for when I actually got into production. I searched for a woman who was actually into the church because I love that sound.
It's flawless.
You just explained it. It's soulful. It's flawless. I mean, you can take that church groove and integrate it with soulful house music.
Yep.
With no problem.
Yep.
It's a smooth transaction.
Yep.
So if somebody that's deep into church and they understand the church, they will understand where you're coming from as far as, what you're looking for as far as soulful music.
Oh, man.
Most vocalists out there started off in the church.
Right.
And or are still into the church. They just happen to be pulled into the house music phase and integrated into the house.
Mm-hmm. It's a good match. I mean, you know what? A soulful church lady could sing about Frosted Flakes, man, and it'd be a hit. I mean, it's just the way it is. You either can sing or you cannot sing. But no, that is something else that I picked up on. But I wanted to let me pause this one. And again, you got to give me a name for this track later on. Okay, I just lost your video again. Hang on. Yeah, your video tapped out. This is the part. Hold on. Now this is another extended mix that you gave me, and for the listeners, I mean, Nate don't really have a lot of names. They're mixes.
Right. It's just how I felt at that moment, and I really didn't come up with a name for it. I would just feel like throwing something on. If I felt like a half an hour, I was spend for a half an hour. If I felt like an hour and a half, I felt like I don't know. But I actually don't have titles for these.
Well, and rightfully so. I mean, you were Chicago house DJ. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I don't think a name would fit because it's completely different. I mean, I can go by the dates and things.
I could have just came home from work and thought about so many tracks throughout the day and said, I'm going to play those tonight. Got on the box and just played them.
And that's really how your best music comes out.
Yeah, it's just how I felt throughout the day.
Right.
So, and as far as a title, I probably haven't came up with one yet. But I know you were like, give me these tracks.
I know.
Tracks. So I just gave them to you, like, come on, man, take them. You can have them, take them. But I haven't named them yet, so most of the tracks that I've given you haven't been named yet. It's just how I felt at that moment.
It's all good. I mean, what I'll do is I load them up as EPs and I put the dates next to them. Yeah. But no, it's all good. Let me play this one.
I my tracks though, for real.
No, let me play this one you gave me in December. Hold on a second.
The next mix I'm making of it is going to be about the woman. It's going to be about the woman, purity. It's going to be about the woman. It's going to be beautiful.
I want to extend my house segment because I run house on Friday, 8 p.m. to 9 a.m. and Saturday, 8 p.m. to 9 a.m. Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of space to move tracks around. So, whenever you have the opportunity to have some more, send them to me, because the thing about your tracks is that they're nice and long. Right. They're nice and long, and I know if I'm looking for house music, if I'm a house music fan and I'm looking for a station that plays house music, most of the time when people play house music, they either have some company or they're getting ready to go somewhere. Right. Or they listen to it in the car on the way to the destination. And you don't want to hear a song that's 3 minutes long, man. You want a house song that's going to start when you start getting ready and finish when you get to destination. And so that's really how we grew up on the house music. I mean, so it's all good, man. But if you have something, any more extended tracks, just send it to me. But let me play this one in December. This is, okay. All right, here it comes. Again, it being a house track, it's not supposed to come up quick. There it is. Oh, see, the female vocal real quick.
That was a glitch in the track.
That was me. That was me, and I'm running a lot of stuff off this Mac, so I get a glitch. But anyway, it's the way you transition.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That's soulful.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, that's what keeps you listening.
Yes.
To yours. And because I've listened to a lot of house music, but yours, when you hit that female vocal, man, you just stop and you're like, yeah. You remember that? You remember that song? Now this is off bass, but let me turn it down a little bit. You remember that song I used to trip out on? Was it Renegades?
Oh. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes.
What group was that?
Was that African Bambaataa?
Yes. Renegades.
Yes, I remember that.
Man, you used to throw that on. That was my.
Love that group, man.
Dude, that was my cut. You put that on, remember?
Yes. I used to love that group, man.
You used to make fun of me, man, because every time you turned it on. That was a trip. That was a trip. But
What happened? How you turned on it? What happened?
Well, I used to dance to it. You used to trip. No, man, we used to trip with that song.
Yeah. Yes.
But
were we pop locking back then?
Well, you know what, man? I don't think you and I didn't really get into that. It was more or less the other crew that did it. We used to watch it, but you used to do the house. I used to hang with you in the house, man. Yeah. I just and the issue was that at the time everybody was wearing Adidas and parachute pants, and they had the turf. What was it? The turf shoes. What were they called? You know what I'm talking about? AstroTurf shoes, and we were too broke to afford to wear all that crap. And you and I were like the same. So we kind of hung out together while everybody else, they had on the Michael Jackson leather, and I just, and at the time, if you didn't look like the crew, you couldn't be in the crew. So, know.
But you was able to be in the crew or above the crew because
right,
because you DJ. You added something to the crew.
Well, and people looked to you to DJ. Yeah. I just remember watching the pop locking, all the break dancing with JoJo and what's his face. They thought they were from like LA and Hollywood. Yes. And I liked them guys, man. I was in both their houses. The families were great. They were good people. But they did, when that movie Breakdancer came out, man, you would have thought them two brothers were in the movie.
Man, JoJo and Jack Scott.
Yes.
And even Chucky.
Chucky was good. I ain't gonna lie. And then Byron got into it.
Byron was good.
All of them had a pair of parachute pants every day of the week, though.
Right.
And, but it was what it was, man. It was what it was. But I got to tell this story. I actually did a podcast, man. Yeah. Back in I think February or summer, or even November last year, about your music. Mm-hmm. But I told that story, man, when I had to go to, I don't know what was going on at Deer Creek. It was something I had to attend with Amber. And what was it? It may have been home. I don't remember, but I needed a haircut. And you were cutting my hair, man. And we were talking or something, clowning. And you cut that bald spot in my head,
man. I felt so bad.
Oh, man, it was. But you know what, man? It was funny as hell. It was.
It's like we ended up laughing it off. We were still buddies behind it, But I felt so bad that it happened,
Well, man, but in retrospect, it was just hair, man, and I took a patch of hair. And I plugged that hole up, man. And I remember when I went to the dance, I was dancing and I got hot, and I went in the bathroom, and it came off. Oh, man. I was like, what happened? And it was glistening and it's shiny. I was like, oh, well. And then Amber got mad because I looked terrible. I was like, whatever. But no, man, I'll never forget that.
Wow. That was crazy. I felt so bad from that. Yeah, I felt so bad.
Nah, it was kids shenanigans, man.
He did try to patch it up, though. I remember the patch because the patch was like the perfect.
Yeah.
You put it right back in there and try to intertwine it with the rest of the hair.
That was it. It was funny, but I remember when it happened. I was like, oh man. But little Murray's, it stayed in there,
Right.
But no, that was, dude. I would never forget that. I had given you a bunch of questions, but I want to ask you what do you think about now, coming from where you came from? Because again, you had all that hardware. Now you got all these DAWs, and all this software, and it's like you can do, like when you talked about looping earlier. Well, hell, you can loop all day long now. With all the software, with the, what do you think of the Abletons? Like, I used Reason when I started. I taught myself how to use Reason, then I used Ableton, but then I kind of like Logic better. And then I've got the Machine, which I still kind of jack around with. But what do you think of all the new software, and now that we have all of these DJs around the world now? They've made Guitar Center's made it really easy to become a DJ. I'm not gonna say not a real DJ, but not an organic, self-taught DJ that really knows DJing, like going back to you synchronizing a damn turntable with a tape deck. These kids cannot fathom what that's like. So like if their stuff goes bad and they are left with having to actually manually use a turntable and sync music up and have to really know the music, they won't do it. They can't do it.
It'll be long. It's and I'm in a couple of house community networks, and they post these type of questions all the time.
Wow.
People all the time. And they talk about these kids nowadays, and people nowadays that's new DJs. A lot of these kids, a lot of people don't understand what a tape deck is. They don't even know what it is.
Mm-mm.
They don't even know what a vinyl is. The only reason why they know vinyl is because people are trying to, keep it valid.
Right.
They kind of let them know as far as where music came from. So that's the only reason why they know about it. But they don't really understand vinyl or turntable, or they might understand pitch control. But nowadays, like you said, DAW, these programs, I see Tractor is giving a unit that doesn't use a pitch control at all.
Right.
So what you're doing, so I haven't checked it out yet, but from what I read up on it's more of you're matching beats.
Yep.
You can see the beats the BPMs and the BPMs, and you're matching them.
I have Tractor.
And you just put them on.
Yep.
Tractor is beautiful though, because you can use Tractor any way you want.
Right.
You can use it as vinyl with turntables. You can use it with a controller as vinyl. With a pitch control.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I use it, because I'm used to vinyl.
Right.
I grew up in the 1200 feet. I keep looking up here because this is where my turntables are. My turntables are still sitting. My two turntables are still sitting right here because I still use them. But Tractor, you can use Tractor as you want. But I see they have a unit now where you can use sync.
Yes.
Where these DJs nowadays, you just instantly become a DJ just by pushing this button.
Yep.
And they don't understand how we had it so hard back in the day. And coming from a tape deck and a turntable with no pitch to a pitch control to the watered down versions of techniques of 1200s or whatever, vinyl and all that. These kids have it good these days. You can just even your grandmother can become a DJ nowadays because they have this equipment that just instantly makes you a DJ.
Right.
Puts it on beat for you. And it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, but they try to discredit people that came up.
Right.
So learning, as you called it earlier, you said, you had a craft for this. You just understood music. You had to understand music back in the day. You had to understand music. You had to understand how fast it was and the pitch control. Because you can't look at a computer and see how fast it is.
Right.
You had to feel that mess out. You had to feel out how fast, with this song right here, going through crates, back in the day, you had to feel like, would this song match?
Exactly.
The song that's playing right now. Mentally, you had to know this song doesn't match, so you had to find something that doesn't match. Other than that, you'd be scratching something in, or you throw everybody up. But it's easy nowadays to become a DJ. It's oversaturated now.
Yeah.
Oversaturated now. Everybody wants to be a DJ now. I took a break from being a DJ for about 6 years, 7 years. Came back. And when I left, it was about 1,000 DJs. When I came back, it was about 5,000 DJs. So I'm like, damn, where all these DJs come from? And within the house community, it used to be like this. One production company or one promoter would throw a party. at one big ass spot, and everybody would come to that spot. Now you might have three or four promoters back then, and they all respected each other's night.
Right.
You know, it was a certain night. You might throw a party September 5th on a Friday. I'll throw it, you know what I'm saying, that following week. Or I throw something September 6th that Saturday. You know, so everybody can make money. Everybody comes to this party Friday night and Thursday. Now when I came back, it's about 500 promoters out here now. And everybody's throwing parties on the same night.
Mm-hmm.
How you bumping this dude? You know what I'm saying? It was like that when I first left the scene, you know.
Right.
And it's the same with DJs. It's like I have a DJ that's throwing a party here, and everybody wants to come see this DJ Friday night. Then, you know, this DJ is like, well, you know, Friday night we DJing tonight, so I'll DJ Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? So Friday night DJing Friday night, Mickey Oliver like DJ Saturday, so everybody gets paid. Now it's like Friday throw a party on Friday night, Mickey throw a party on Friday night, Rock throw a party on Friday night. It's about 15 parties on the same night.
Right.
It's saturated. It's oversaturated. And it's a little different, but you know, you have to adapt.
Well, I think, you know, like I said earlier at the beginning of the interview, I think that it might be saturated, but you're talented.
Yeah.
I mean, you can comb through, and I, you know, and not to be a hypocrite, okay? Me personally, let me stop this. Me personally, yeah, I told you the software I used, and I put some stuff out there, but I'm not like, I just lost you again. I don't have the talent that you have, you know, and I'm not going to pretend that I have the talent that you have. I know my swim lane, okay, and I'm gonna stay in it, okay. If I learn more and I get better, then I'll try another lane. But I'm not out here trying to act like I'm you know what I'm saying, or I'm this world-class DJ, because I'm not, man. I mean, I do better promoting other people, and when I have time, I'll put out a track, you know, that I feel I'm comfortable with. But, you know, I'm not you, and I can never be you because of what you got up here. And a lot of these DJs out here, like, for example, I'm going to go back to Who is Jody, because I just interviewed him recently. I mean,
I like that dude.
He's tight, man. Who is Jody is tight. I mean, he put the work in. Mm-hmm. And you can tell by when you talk to these guys, you know, they like you said, you come home from work, you have a certain mood you're in, and so you know what, you put out a nice track because you're emotionally engaged in it, and you know what elements to add to that music to make it the product it is and the quality, and that's what he does. That's what he does with his electronic music, his progressive house music. I mean, if you listen to his track, I think it's Closer. He's put out a lot of music, but his track Closer, it's unique, man. It's really unique just because of the way he put it together. With your music, you can do all kinds of stuff with what you're doing. I mean, I hear it in your music. I mean, I remember back in 2000, you sent me a long ass tape. Man, it was like 3 hours. But you know what? but you can tell that you, like you said, I wouldn't say you winging it. You're organically putting the music together in your head, and it's coming out. Because winging it is like doing it in haste. You ain't doing it in haste. You're doing what you know and love, and you can't just read that in the manual or Google that. I mean, you have that. You started from, you know, the dirt up with this music. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you kind of evolved with the music and the technology. And like I said, those that just know, you know, Tractor and Logic, that's
Serato.
all they know.
Right, Serato.
You know.
Yeah, yeah. I heard about people putting shows together.
Yes.
And it's like a
Yes.
like a preset show.
Yes.
I haven't asked about that yet, but I just heard about it. I'm like, what is this preset show thing going on? I mean, I don't think I would want to preset a show
where you just stand there and play.
And stand there and
yeah, because that's what you're doing. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I would want to do that live. And I'm sure people are probably doing it live now, but I would be the one that would do that live. But I don't get the thrill out of doing something like that preset.
It's what it is. It's a fail safe, and I want to say, and for the people that watch this video, I know I did see a video with Armin van Buuren earlier where I think I watched one of his YouTube videos in his home studio where he was preparing his CDs for a show, and he was playing this, like I said before, he would play the CDs, and he was doing this. Now I have seen him hit some switches in some of his shows, but it's not when you like the old DJs. You're not seeing that.
Yeah,
you're not seeing that. Even like,
right.
I don't want to, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
A real DJ. Go explain that aspect of it where when the one track's about to end, you got to put another one on, and you listening in a headphone, for that synchronization, that beat, and then you can switch the mixer. I mean, talk about that aspect of it where compared to somebody that has queued everything up.
Yeah, those are the moments that stick with you the most. It's the same as going on a trip or going on a family function, and you know how everything's so perfect in the beginning, you taking pictures, everything's all good, everybody lined up and taking pictures, everything's beautiful, pose and all that. But that's cool for pictures, but the most memorable parts of your trip is when you F up somewhere. Somebody messed up, somebody failed, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you and your family went out somewhere and somebody failed, and you all would bring that up at a family function like Thanksgiving or something.
Well, like the haircut piece.
Well, yeah. You're going to talk about that. That's the part that sticks out for the most part.
Right.
And it's the same thing when it comes to DJing, It's that moment when you're sweating, the music is about to go out, you don't know what to play, you're trying to find something. Back in the vinyl days, I'm thinking about the vinyl. Back in the vinyl, you're trying to find that record to see, what's going to come in. Everybody's still dancing, and you don't want to mess up the whole scene. You're sweating, it's the adrenaline rushing and all that. That's the part that's the most memorable.
Right.
You want to be able to experience something like this because experience like this makes you better. It makes you more seasoned.
Yep.
If you're just programming everything, and you have nothing to worry about. I understand the fail safe. I understand where it's coming from. I'm not knocking it.
Right.
It's cool because it's just what it is. It's fail safe.
It's a safe area.
Fail safe. Everybody's gonna have fun. It's guaranteed.
Yep.
It's backed up and backed up again and backed up again. And this program is have fun.
Yep.
Give me my money. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think it is. I mean, but at the same time, I would have more fun being in the now. And that's where I get my creation from.
Right.
My energy comes from your energy.
Right.
Even if I'm, like I said, if I'm at work and I'm thinking about some things and thinking about things that's going through my head, whatever, I'm thinking about how somebody's going to react to that. So I'm still bringing somebody else's energy into my realm. And as far as music, as far as a party scene, hundreds and thousands of people, I would like to feel you all's energy, and I want to absorb it, mix it up in my head, and give it back to you.
Mm-hmm.
I want that recirculation going on. That's how I feel.
Well, I've seen that.
That's what I look for.
Yeah, and I've seen that in you, and I mean it's always been that way.
Yeah.
With you, and again, you have a unique talent, and that's what, like when you and I started talking again months ago. I mean, it's been almost a year. You know that it's been almost a year that we started talking about this again, and I even told my wife. I said, Nate he's always been talented. And I hate that you're not doing this. And you're doing it locally in Chicago. And for those people listening, hell of a DJ, hit us up. You can buy his music at THERUNNER.com under Resident Artists tab. Because I still have your tracks up there, by the way.
Or you can hire me and have me come out there. I will come out there and bang the box. That's what I've been doing for years. I put it to the side for a minute, but I'm back on the scene again. Absolutely.
And I'm going to keep pushing you on the radio, and you just need to drive your fan base, your listeners to THERUNNER.com, man. It's like it's on now, and you got 2 tracks starting. I'm going to tell you what they are. 8 o'clock. They are, let me just click on it. View. All right, yeah, I've got Do You Want to Dance, and then this is Chicago Extended Mix. But again, you kicked off the hour, so
okay,
or the segment. Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. There you are. But man, I could sit and talk to you all night long. But send me some more music.
I will.
Drive your, when you're out DJing, tell people they can hear your music at THERUNNER.com, because I've got the player on the homepage. Okay, and all they got to do is hit play. 8 o'clock starts 8 o'clock.
I'm going to record my sets. If I don't record my sets, I will have the promoter record my sets. There are going to be 2 types of recording. We're going to have just audio, and now we're doing video. So
excellent.
So hopefully, there should be a link where they can click on the link and see me live.
Oh yeah.
Or see the situation live for a short snippet of the night. I'm sure it won't be the whole night as far as the video, but the audio will be the whole night, 2, 3, 4 hours, however long they want me to spend.
Okay.
And I will make sure I will give that to you so you can upload it.
Okay. No, that would be great, man. But we got to keep you relevant. And now that you're on Instagram, I'll keep you in circulation, because I put out a couple tonight. And like I said, man, when I post you get a lot of likes, man. And then, remember that picture you said you didn't like that I made purple? A lot of people like that, man. And I actually, I thought I sent, you know what I didn't. I'm going to send you a screenshot of, and you have to remember too.
Please do, because that's all motivation for me.
Oh yeah. And I'll keep that in mind. We all have our day jobs, we have our own lives. Yeah. But, you have a talent, man, that it shouldn't go unnoticed. Seriously, really. But as long as you breathing and I'm breathing, I'm going to keep uploading your music and promoting it. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude this tonight. It's been an hour. I know you got stuff to do. Are you DJing tonight at all?
Not tonight. This weekend I'm free. And I feel good about it because I can relax tonight. Exactly. Well, hey man, enjoy your evening. Okay. And I appreciate you carving out some time for the interview, man. I've been waiting to do this. I appreciate you. I was just about to say that. Yes. I'm gonna try to get out there this summer, and man, we should have like a meal at your house. Good idea. Yeah, with your family, man. Right. At my house or at my mother's house? Your mama's house. Okay, so I'll tell her to make sure. Oh yeah. Give me your list. No. You and Kevin Slaughter, you are both love the way she cooked. Oh man. Kevin had a list of things that he loved the way she cooked. So maybe you have this. Dude, I got it. Meat.
Meat. Okay.
Okay.
But hey, listen, man. Have a good night, and I appreciate you taking the time, dude.
And thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right. Take care, man.
All right, man.
All right.